Hey everyone, I'm Sade, and this is the Write Fancy channel. I've been a professional writer and editor for over 16 years, and this channel is all about helping you tell better stories and enjoy the creative process. Today, we're tackling one of the big ones, writer's block. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more writing tips. Enjoy! Here's 55 strategies to overcome writer's block. The famous Maya Angelou once said, "You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have." But we've all been there. You sit down and stare at the same blank page for hours, desperately trying to squeeze out one good idea. But alas, nothing happens, and you have the urge to start organizing something, anything, right this minute. If you're like me, you might have a sudden desire to remember something random and unimportant that has nothing to do with what you're working on. Like the name of that monkey from the Powerpuff Girls, or how much it costs to fly to Fiji. But fear not. Having writer's block is as common as farting, and that hasn't killed you, so neither will a backup of ideas. So what is writer's block, or creative block? Does it even exist? Writer's block is like a big wall that suddenly appears in your brain, stopping all the creative ideas and words from flowing out onto the paper. It's when you really want to write something, but your brain feels stuck and won't let you come up with the words you need. I imagine it as walking through a desolate, dystopian wasteland. You're surrounded by emptiness, but every once in a while, you come across junkyards filled with wreckage. And when you dig through the piles of debris in search of a decent idea, every single one is complete garbage. Many creatives don't view writer's block as a real affliction because they don't view creativity like a faucet that can be turned on and off. Creativity requires curiosity, experimentation, and exploration, which can come in many forms. If you stop actively doing these things, you will struggle to make breakthroughs because you need to keep feeding your mind with source material. While I'd love to talk about the definition of writer's block all day, this video is about how to work through it. In this jam-packed video, I'm arming you with an arsenal of techniques, tips, and tricks that will shatter those creative barriers and leave you brimming with fresh ideas. Number 1, free write. To spark ideas and get into the flow, write without any constraints or judgments. Write without any specific goal or structure for a set period of time, allowing your mind to wander. Free writing, or stream of consciousness writing, is about writing continuously, capturing every thought that comes to mind. The point isn't to create a masterpiece or even a coherent story, but to warm up your brain and unscramble your loose thoughts. This allows you to build some momentum and stir up a few ideas before you settle down and focus. Think of it as cleaning out the clutter and cobwebs to make room for fresher ideas. If you do this regularly, you can train your mind to expect this warm-up period, followed by a steady writing rhythm. By making this a habit, you're less likely to experience long periods of writer's block at all. Number 2, follow a schedule. Now, it's really common for creatives to keep parroting the same flawed advice simply because it worked for a successful person. You probably know exactly what flawed advice I'm talking about. Write every day. Chances are you've already tried this and it hasn't worked for you. Here's why. You do not think, write, live your life, or process information exactly like everyone else. In fact, for a lot of us, writing every day makes us hate writing, and it kills any enjoyment we might get from discovering new ideas and expressing our deepest thoughts. For some of you, your lifestyle doesn't allow you to fit in a productive writing session every day. And if you're a professional writer like me, trying to write down your own material every day can quickly lead to burnout because you're already working your brain a lot to produce content for clients. I've seen the same issue with some content marketing agencies that are obsessed with processes. They create an overly complicated writing process based on what works for the startup founder or another member of the content marketing team, and then they hire freelancers and want them all to use this clunky process, and they will insist that it's the best way to produce an article. But the process will often have unnecessary steps that the content manager has developed in alignment with how they think, and it puts a huge unnecessary burden on the freelancers to work in a manner that isn't compatible with how they organize and write content. Anyways, the point of this whole spiel is to help you understand that you aren't failing if you don't write every day. The important thing is to establish a consistent writing routine to condition your mind for creativity. You decide what works for you, whether it's writing a few hours, 3 days a week, or for 1 hour, 5 days a week. Break up your writing session into chunks. Write for a short burst of time, such as 10 or 15 minutes to ease the pressure. Then, take a short break before diving in again. Make your environment conducive to writing by minimizing distractions in your writing space. That way, you can get in the zone and maintain concentration. Number 3, go people watching or sightseeing. The world is filled with people from all walks of life doing funny, strange, kind, selfish, tragic, and even ingenious things. Real human beings and animals make the most intriguing characters, and you can get lots of free source material just by observing people in their natural environments. So, find something funny or interesting in your environment to write about. You can go almost anywhere that it's okay to sit or walk around for a long period of time, such as your workplace, a mall, a park, a cafe, a museum, public transportation, or even your own porch. Think about all the times in your life that you've heard snippets of weird or out of context conversations. Keep an eye out and an ear open, and you're guaranteed to find tons of great source material for your writing. Number 4, think like a puppet master. Who doesn't want to create a world of little minions you can control? Know everything about them and manipulate every event of their lives to create whatever outcome you choose. If the popularity of The Sims is any clue, there's a lot of us who fantasize about being an all-powerful puppet master. In a harmless way, of course. Sometimes, a creative block comes from your reluctance to write about a specific event or type of character. When you really feel attached to a character, you might be uncomfortable throwing certain challenges at them or making them behave in off-putting ways. My advice is to imagine yourself as a puppet master pulling the strings of your characters. Just as a marionette obeys your every move, let your story dance to your whims. Instead of forcing your characters down the same well-trodden path, experiment with their fate. Tug a character's strings, make them do unexpected things, and watch how your plot takes a thrilling twist. Manipulate their emotions, place them in new situations, test their limits, and see where they lead you. Maybe your brave anti-hero decides to take up baking, or your shy librarian discovers a hidden talent for stand-up comedy. But don't stop there. Embrace the power of the unexpected. Let your characters surprise you. Give them the freedom to voice their opinions, even if it leads your story in a direction you hadn't planned. Who knows? Your quirky sidekick might have a hidden backstory that unlocks a treasure trove of ideas. As you pull the strings, notice the threads of connection weaving through your narrative. One character's actions can tug at the strings of another, unleashing a wealth of new plot options. Let these threads guide you and lead you out of the labyrinth of writer's block. Number 5, join a themed writing contest. Writer's block doesn't always happen because you're low on ideas. You can also get stuck when there are too many topics swirling around in your brain and you can't figure out how to focus. Want to know a quick fix? Join a themed writing contest that tells you exactly what topic to write about. Having very strict topic parameters can force you to edit down your ideas and create a more focused piece of work. Contests have rules, like word limits or specific topics, settings, genres, and characters. Organizations hosting contests usually have a list of tropes and elements they don't accept, which further narrows your focus. Your job is to fit your story into their box, weaving your ideas around a central theme. Having rules and a clear goal can help to silence many of the competing ideas, preventing you from expressing your thoughts. Not to mention, writing contests challenge you to flex your creative muscles, and they can be quite fun. If you happen to win, there's also a prize involved. While many contests have an entry fee to pay the staff members reviewing the entries, you can use sites like Poets and Writers to search for writing contests with no entry fee. Reedsy is another great site for participating in weekly mini contests for flash fiction or nonfiction. So find a contest that fits your interests and get started spinning your next tale. Number 6, write in a different format or medium. While repetition might be the key to learning, it can be the death of creativity. Writer's block can develop when you're simply bored with doing the same type of project over and over again. So try stepping out of your comfort zone. Get inspired again by switching to a different style, format, or medium. If you normally write prose, why not give poems or songs a try? If you normally write novels, take a break and test your skills at short stories, letters, or journal entries. And don't forget the power of movement, especially if you're struggling to put an action scene into words. Get up and act out what you're writing about to get a better sense of how the motion should play out. Engaging in realistic movement might help untangle the knots in your thoughts and get your thoughts back on track. Number 7, read as much as possible. As I briefly mentioned in the intro, creativity is a muscle that has to be nourished and exercised. If you stop feeding your mind with enriching content, you'll have a hard time finding references and inspiration to draw upon. That's why it's beneficial to immerse yourself in books, articles, or other written works to stimulate your imagination, especially with the type of content you plan to write. Engage with different genres, authors, writing styles, characters, and worlds to inspire your own writing. Not only is reading a great way to relax and de-stress, but it also allows you to explore human interactions from a variety of diverse perspectives. You'll get a glimpse into how other creatives think about the world around them and process everyday interactions. You'll learn how words dance, how plots twist, and how emotions flow. Even if your goal is to stand out and break with convention, you need to develop a strong understanding of the elements of good writing and the expectations of your audience. Otherwise, you may end up creating plot lines, concepts, and characters that confuse your audience or that don't feel authentic and relatable to them. By studying the art of writing, you'll be able to subvert the norms of your genre or industry in a way your readers will enjoy. Number 8, code switch. Code switching is the act of changing how you communicate based on the cultural or social setting you're in. It's a common habit for people who spend a significant amount of their lives navigating more than one cultural background. So how does this apply to dealing with writer's block? If you're bored with what you're writing, or everything you come up with feels forced and hollow, break through this block by writing the content in whatever way is most natural for you. This can mean changing the tone or the actual language and dialect if you're multilingual. This can mean using a particular slang or literary voice that's easier for you to adopt. Let's say you're writing a character whose tonal language is very different from how you personally speak. You might even be familiar with the style of speech you're referencing, but feel stuck when you try to write in this style for long periods of time. Drafting the text or dialogue in a more organic way allows you to get something workable on the page. Then you can go back and edit it to sound the way you want. In my professional writing, I do this all the time when writing in a brand voice that doesn't feel natural to me. For instance, I'm not a perky person. When I have to write super upbeat, cheerful content, I write it in my natural voice, step away from it for a while, and then channel a version of myself that's bubbling over with excitement about the topic. Give it a try. Number 9, change your creative workspace. Move to a different location or change your creative workspace to break the monotony and find fresh inspiration. If you're someone whose environment has a big impact on your creativity, it's worthwhile to find out what conditions bring out the best results. Maybe you need to work outdoors or in a cafe surrounded by the scent of coffee and croissants. Maybe you need to declutter your space or get more comfortable seating. Maybe you like sitting on a balcony overlooking the water and with the sun shining all over your face. Or perhaps you're someone who needs visual encouragement. You might benefit from surrounding yourself with affirmation cards or posters to keep you motivated. The next time you're in the zone, make a note of the factors in your environment that contributed to your productivity. Then you'll know how to create the most favorable conditions for stimulating new ideas. Number 10, write a letter of complaint. Writing a letter of complaint can be a surprisingly helpful strategy for breaking through a mental block. Just think about the last time you came across a social media post that really pissed you off. I'm willing to bet you were able to unleash a tidal wave of words in a few seconds flat. Let's be clear, I'm not advising you to transform into an enraged social media troll to become a better writer. What I'm saying is, you can channel a similar energy to instantly obliterate whatever is preventing you from getting any words out. You can write a letter of complaint from your own perspective or adopt the voice of one of your characters if you're working on a fiction project. Don't overthink it. Choose a topic that frustrates you and let loose an unfiltered rant. If you aren't feeling particularly annoyed, imagine the most petty, persnickety person you know and use their voice to craft your letter. This act alone will push you to be creative and put yourself in someone else's shoes. But more importantly, writing out your grievances helps release any pent-up tension, creating space for fresh ideas to flow. If you're writing from a character's perspective, this exercise might even yield insights that can be applied to your plot. Anger, annoyance, and frustration are normal emotions, and addressing these feelings on a regular basis is a great way to cultivate a more balanced mental environment for creativity to grow in. Number 11, grow a seed story. Turn a small idea into a fully fleshed out piece of writing by starting with a seed idea. Most likely, you've heard of micro-story challenges on social media. Crafting a compelling narrative with only a few words puts your storytelling skills to the test, and it's a fun exercise that gets your creative muscles working. But I'm going to go a step further and show you how to plant a seed story and grow it into a bigger idea. The goal of a micro-story challenge is to tell a story in its simplest form, using a bare-bones idea. So, in just 6 to 10 words, try to create a sense of intrigue or conflict. Once you have a 6-word story you like, expand the word count to 30 or 40 words. Then, keep increasing the word count until you reach 100 to 200 words. At this point, you should have a basic story summary, which you can expand with an outline. Here's an example. The secret died with its keeper. That's 6 words. The secret died with its keeper. As Nellie surveyed the guests at the wake, she realized she might never discover who her grandmother rushed off to visit shortly before her death. That's 31 words. The secret died with its keeper. As Nellie surveyed the guests at the wake, she realized she might never discover who her grandmother rushed off to visit shortly before her death. Just 2 days ago, Nellie had seen her grandmother pacing and clutching an envelope, which she hastily tucked into her apron the moment Nellie entered the room. Today, Nellie opened the envelope, which contained nothing but a paper stamped with a strange symbol. That's 74 words. The secret died with its keeper. As Nellie surveyed the guests at the wake, she realized she might never discover who her grandmother rushed off to visit shortly before her death. Just 2 days ago, Nellie had seen her grandmother pacing and clutching an envelope, which she hastily tucked into her apron the moment Nellie entered the room. Today, Nellie opened the envelope, which contained nothing but a paper stamped with a strange symbol. Nellie was sure that someone at this wake had the answers, and she would do whatever it took to find out why the normally fearless and open-hearted matron of her family had suddenly become closed off and scared of some unknown peril. That's 116 words. So there you have it. While my story example probably isn't the next bestseller, you can see how a story can take shape when you start with the simplest idea that comes to mind. Now, start growing your own story from a single tiny seed. Good luck. Number 12, take more breaks. This one couldn't be more simple. Just like your body needs to rest from physical activity, your mind needs a break from intellectual activity. While it's beneficial to push through a block, mentally overexerting yourself is one of the easiest ways to make you hate what you're doing. So learn to recognize your limits. Give yourself permission to step away from your writing for a while and engage in a different type of activity like walking, dancing, or coloring to recharge your mind, or just take the best nap of your life. It's up to you. Number 13, use themed writing or creative prompts. If you want to start writing and just can't seem to get your brain working, use prompts or writing exercises to jumpstart your creativity. Prompts challenge you to craft stories you might not have imagined otherwise. Just like contests and mini challenges, creative writing prompts provide a focal point for your ideas. Whether you're an author, essayist, poet, or blogger, you can find fiction and nonfiction prompts for whatever type of writing you do. But there's still one problem. When you're scrolling through pages of writing prompts, it's really easy to get a case of analysis paralysis and never actually start writing. So set a time limit for picking a suitable prompt, such as 2 to 3 minutes, and dive in right away without any hesitation. Number 14, write a dialogue-only scene. For a lot of us writers, the narrative is the real meat of the story. But whether or not you enjoy creating a narrative, it can be difficult for many writers to fill in all the descriptive moments and scene building in between major events and conversations. Instead of getting discouraged and losing your momentum, Craft a few scenes using only dialogue. This approach puts all the focus on character interactions and dynamics, which can help you figure out the right body language and reactions to depict in a narrative. If you want to go a step further, get a friend or family member to act out the dialogue with you. Tell them to get into character as much as possible, but don't give them specific notes on how to act out the scene. Just let them do whatever comes naturally. Observe their expressions and mannerisms to get a sense of how your character might behave in the same situation. Number 15. Write down your dreams. Ever had a dream that felt like a movie in your head? Well, guess what? Those dreams can be the magic key to unblocking your mind. Dream journaling is an excellent way to ignite the spark of creativity and get unique, offbeat inspiration. Of course, dreams can be notoriously hard to remember, but the next time you wake up with a dream fresh on your mind, write it down just like you're telling a friend about it. Chances are you'll have a quirky story idea that's like no other. Number 16. Make a mundane task seem exciting. Looking for an entertaining way to expand your skill set as a writer? Try taking a simple task and describing it in vivid detail, finding beauty in the ordinary. Some of the most memorable moments in books, poems, and stories are describing basic scenery or everyday actions. But the author's rich language and unique word choices bring the scene to life in a way that mesmerizes you. The same goes for nonfiction and business writing, such as essays, white papers, blogs, and B2B content. Even when the topic isn't glamorous or exciting, skilled writers know how to choose captivating language that speaks to the needs and expectations of their readers. So if you want to become the best writer you can be, practice writing about mundane things. Try to make the ordinary seem exciting to your audience. Think about who you're writing for and what they currently know about the topic. Using words, try to create imagery that pulls your reader into the moment so that they can imagine it as vividly as you do. Number 17. Try an interesting genre mashup. In a world full of content, it feels like everything has been done before. And unsurprisingly, the feeling that you can't come up with anything original is a common source of self-doubt for many a writer. The good news is you don't have to be original. You just need to bring your own approach to storytelling. One way to do this is with clever and intriguing genre mashups. Experimenting with a genre mashup is like mixing ingredients to create a new and exciting recipe. Just as blending flavors can yield a delightful dish, combining genres breathes fresh life into your writing. So try mixing genres or subgenres by incorporating elements of science fiction, fantasy, horror, romance, mystery, period drama, western, true crime, or whatever else you like. By melding genres, you challenge your creative boundaries and exercise your storytelling abilities. This process keeps your mind agile and prevents creative stagnation. You might end up with a cool story about Regency-era nobility fighting zombies or cowboy vampires who solve crimes. The possibilities are endless. Number 18. Listen to music that triggers emotion. Create the perfect mood and environment for creativity by listening to music or ambient sounds. Keep in mind, not every type of music is good for concentration. To create a relaxed environment that's conducive to writing, choose music or background noise that's slow, low tempo, repetitive, or ambient. Depending on what you're working on, it may even be helpful to go with music that triggers a specific emotion. Emotionally charged music enhances focus and concentration, helping you become immersed in the task at hand. Not only does this get you in the right mood to tackle the subject, but a heightened emotional state often leads to more genuine and expressive prose. So, curate a playlist of atmospheric songs that evoke the emotions or themes of your writing. Then, settle down to write and allow the gentle sounds, depth, and resonance of the music to strengthen your emotional connection to your written work. Number 19. Revisit your past work. As creatives, we're often really hard on ourselves and hold our work to impossible standards. You've probably heard of rose-colored glasses, which is the habit of seeing everything from an overly optimistic point of view. Well, most creatives, we don't have that. We develop a unique form of insanity and delusion that alternates on any given day. One moment, everything we create looks like a flaming pile of dog poop. The next moment, we come up with something random and feel totally convinced that it's genius. Instead of letting this strange phenomenon get you down, use it to your advantage. Revisit your past writing to remind yourself of your capabilities and strengths. Looking back at previous projects gives you a wonderful opportunity to explore your personal growth and progress. You'll wonder what mindset you were in that allowed you to come up with pages of insightful gems. You'll feel like you might just be the voice of your generation. You'll see eloquently crafted sentences and realize just how skilled you are at putting words together good. By analyzing past successes and identifying areas for improvement, you can refine your skills, spark fresh ideas, and develop a greater sense of your strengths and weaknesses. Most importantly, you'll remember that you're a talented and capable writer who has created excellent work in the past, and you will continue to create great work in the future. Number 20, reward yourself. Do I even need to explain this one? While not everyone needs rewards for motivation, I'm pretty sure most of us feel a little warm and fuzzy inside when we receive a dose of validation. Instead of simply dreaming about the day when someone walks up and asks for your autograph, go ahead and claim that validation for yourself. Really stir up those endorphins. To stay engaged and foster ongoing progress, set up a reward system for achieving writing milestones. These rewards can be as simple as taking a short break, treating yourself to a nice lunch, or enjoying one of your favorite activities. Having this proactive mindset leads to a more productive writing process and a sense of accomplishment that propels you toward your writing objectives. You shattered your word count personal record, you climbed a literary mountain, you jumped a linguistic hurdle, you crafted poetic verses like a true wordsmith, and the act of rewarding yourself acknowledges all that effort you put into your work, boosting your self-esteem and overall well-being. As a writer, it's easy to focus on all your flaws and constantly wonder if you're really good or just faking it. In fact, I would bet money that imposter syndrome started with the earliest creatives drawing pictures on cave walls. Anywho, by setting up this positive reinforcement, you create a sense of accomplishment and anticipation, which can combat feelings of stagnation. Goodbye, writer's block. Number 21, play with words. One of the best things about language is that everything is made up. Every alphabet, every word, and every turn of phrase started out as a seed in someone's imagination. We tend to view language as something set in stone because we've been using many of the same words and phrases for so long. But here's the thing, language is fluid and always changing. Words take on new meanings, and it can be really fun to experiment with word associations, puns, or wordplay to spark creativity. Try putting words together in a new way or an interesting way, or use a word with more than one meaning to make people think more deeply about the message. Need an example? Think about the word weather. Weather can mean to withstand difficult or stormy conditions, as in this sentence. Our friendship is strong enough to weather a crisis. However, the same word can have an opposite meaning, as in this sentence. Heavy rain and sunshine can weather the wood, causing it to rot and fade. In this example, the word weather means to cause wear or deterioration. The word weather has lots of other meanings too, like the conditions of the atmosphere. If you wanted to play with words, you could write a phrase, sentence, or poem that uses more than one meaning at the same time. Here's another example. Only genuine love can weather the intense emotions of a fresh, unrealized crush. If you rewrite this line with the two opposite meanings we discussed, it adds depth to the line. Take a look at the first rewrite. Only genuine love can withstand the intense emotions of a fresh, unrealized crush. This version of the sentence is saying that if there is genuine love present, it will survive once someone is past the early stages of a crush. Having a crush causes intense emotions that can cloud your judgment. In many cases, crushes are shallow, and once you know more about the object of your affection, you stop desiring them. Now, take a look at the second rewrite. Only genuine love can wear down the intense emotions of a fresh, unrealized crush. This version of the sentence is saying that genuine love can replace intense, lustful emotions and lead to a more balanced view of someone. Crushes are often based on a false idea of another person. By getting to know the object of your affection, you often come to love them more, but in a balanced and meaningful way that is based on their true character. The shallow feelings are worn down through repeated interaction. You see the good and bad and make a conscious decision to tear down your false image of the person you love. Playing with language challenges the ordinary, which helps you break out of traditional ways of thinking. When you experiment with puns, double meanings, or even make up new words, you add something new and fun to your writing. Wordplay also strengthens your writing skills by pushing you to be more precise and thoughtful. Crafting clever sentences with double meanings, for example, requires careful attention to detail. You need a sharp sense of how language works to create good wordplay, which helps improve your vocabulary and grammar. It also boosts your editing skills because you have to think carefully about every word and how it affects the sentence. So go nuts coming up with witty phrases, or choose a word and make a list of ideas that come to mind. When your brain feels cluttered, scramble up your thoughts a bit and you never know what interesting ideas will shake loose. Number 22. Divide big tasks into smaller subtasks. When writer's block feels like a giant boulder, divide and conquer is the best strategy. Breaking big tasks into smaller ones is like turning a mountain into pebbles. Each pebble is a manageable task, less daunting and more achievable. If the idea of writing a 3,000-word blog post makes you suddenly want to take a walk or do the laundry, just commit to writing 300 words for now. If you keep putting off writing the next chapter of your book, just commit to writing 2 pages. This approach helps you get into a flow state and boost your confidence and motivation. Each small victory makes it easier to keep going. Number 23. Collect visual inspiration. Reading and music aren't the only ways to prime your mind for writing. Visual inspiration can also do the trick. There's a reason why people love vision boards. Visual cues can spark creativity and even convey complex ideas more effectively. When you collect visuals relevant to your topic, it serves as a reference that keeps your writing focused and on track. Visuals also make it easier to find unique angles and approaches for your content. When you look at different types of visual information at the same time, you're often able to see patterns and make connections that would be hard to visualize without tangible source material. So browse through art, photographs, videos, infographics, or illustrations to trigger new ideas and images. Harnessing the power of visual inspiration can broaden your ideas and elevate your writing to a more compelling level. Number 24. Dive into the sensory details. For a writer, nothing is worse than reading your own work and thinking, my goodness, this is the most foul, nap-inducing piece of mind poop I've ever read. If you're having a serious block or just horribly bored with everything you write, it's important to reinvest and re-immerse yourself in the world you're creating. One extremely effective way to accomplish this is to describe a scene or environment using all 5 senses. Go into this exercise as though you're engaging with the situation, people, or environment for the first time. When you hone in on the sensory details of the scene, what do you notice? What sense, sounds, or physical cues are shaping the environment or influencing how the characters interact? How can you describe these elements in a way that hints at the changes in the atmosphere or character relationships, rather than simply telling the reader what to think? That's the magic of using all 5 senses to describe a scene. When your writing gets boring, it's hard for you or anyone else to stay interested. But when you describe how a bakery smells like warm cinnamon rolls, how the sun feels on your skin, or the distant sound of waves crashing, it inspires you to reflect on your real-life experiences. You're able to tap into whatever emotions you associate with different sensory experiences and bring more depth to your writing. Number 25. Record yourself or dictate the text. Recording yourself or dictating text is a shortcut to better writing if you process spoken words more easily than written information. Not being able to get your thoughts down on paper or a computer screen doesn't mean you aren't a good writer. We all take in information differently, and for some of us, it's easier to express ourselves orally. One huge advantage of dictation is that it enables you to produce content more quickly. Speaking your thoughts aloud allows you to bypass the hesitation that often comes with putting words directly on paper. As writers, we often get stuck because we're trying to find the perfect words. We go back and forth self-editing without making a lot of progress. With dictation and recording, you're able to speak freely using your natural conversational speech style. This technique encourages a more fluid thought process and a spontaneous flow of ideas, potentially leading to creative breakthroughs. Not only does this create a lot of editable content in a short period of time, but it also helps to preserve the authenticity of your voice, capturing nuances that might be lost through traditional writing or typing. Number 26. Write a character eulogy. Are you struggling with adding layers to your characters? Looking for an unconventional way to beat writer's block? Pen a eulogy for a fictional character, exploring their impact and legacy. So in case you don't know, a eulogy is a written or spoken tribute celebrating the life of a deceased person. And I know what you're thinking. She wants me to create a character, kill them off, hide the evidence, and then write their eulogy? I promise, there's no crime involved in this exercise, you just need imagination. The goal of this exercise is to think more deeply about why you created a specific character and how much impact they will have on the story. This might seem like a silly, pointless exercise, but take a moment and think about how many books you've read or shows you've seen with several throwaway characters who don't really add anything to the plot. If you're stalled while writing a story, it might be because you're creating characters who are just there to fill space. You don't have a well-developed sense of who the characters are or why they matter, making it difficult to create conflicts, interactions, or moments of growth that propel the story forward. So use the eulogy as a way to gain a profound understanding of the character's essence, motives, and journey. You can write about the character's favorite things, their funny pet peeves, their memorable moments, their passions, their accomplishments. However, unlike a real eulogy, there's no need to only show the character in the best light. Whether your character was a wise mentor or a notorious instigator, make sure your eulogy provides a compelling narrative of who this person was, how they evolved through life, and the impact they had on others. Number 27. Write a flashback. Like many storytelling techniques, flashbacks are incredibly useful until they become a crutch. Flashbacks allow you to transport your readers back in time, providing crucial context and depth for your story or content. It also offers a chance to reveal characters' motivations and backstories. But all too often, writers use them to shove in information they can't figure out how to incorporate naturally, or even worse, it's the only thing propping up a cliched, poorly strung together plot twist based on some unknown kernel of information from the past. But I digress. To be clear, I'm not telling you to fill your stories with flashbacks. I'm telling you to dive into a character's past to gain some crucial insight if you're getting nowhere with character development. The flashback you write may or may not end up in the final story. It doesn't really matter. The goal is to flesh out past experiences, shaping your character's actions, so you have a better understanding of how to develop and pace the character's progression in the present. If you do plan to incorporate these flashbacks in the final project, make sure they're necessary and relevant. It's often possible to reveal past information naturally through narrative or dialogue when characters meet new people or have an experience that triggers self-reflection. Number 28. Start with whatever is easiest. Mental resistance is natural whenever you try to do something creative, but that doesn't mean you should simply stop what you're doing. Fighting the resistance in a more direct manner doesn't work for everyone. If you tend to shut down when you have a block, write the easiest part first, no matter how much it might seem out of context. Start with whatever section or idea comes most naturally to build momentum. Just get the words out, so you have something to work with. After a while, a more coherent idea will begin to take shape, and the mental resistance will lessen on its own. This technique is especially useful if you've stopped writing for a long time, or you're just a terrible procrastinator. I like to keep a few Google Docs with tidbits of written content and thoughts I hope to use later. I usually just name the document Random Musings for Creative Writing Projects and Temp Work for content writing projects. Then, I go back and grab snippets from these files all the time. The next time a few lines of perfectly worded dialogue or text come to mind, don't dismiss them and plan to write them down later. You'll probably just forget. Instead, add these tidbits to your notes right away and make a regular habit of reviewing your random musings. See if anything sparks an idea or fits your current project. Number 29, write out of order. Every writer knows that not every topic or scene in your content flows out easily. Sometimes you have to really push to birth that piece of writing, and you're exhausted and worn out once it's finally over. Ideas rarely come to you in perfect order, so why restrict yourself to writing sequentially or chronologically? Whether you're creating a novel, blog post, sales letter, or ebook, writing out of order is a useful technique for anyone who works from an outline. Once you have a framework for your content, it's easy to jump around and flesh out different sections as relevant thoughts come to mind. Just as I mentioned in the previous point, it's helpful to start with the easiest parts to build a rhythm. Once you have a nice flow, the more challenging sections will become easier to write because more fully formed, coherent ideas will come to the surface as you dive deeper into the topic. Number 30. Write in reverse order. We just talked about writing out of order. Well, now I'm going to challenge you to live even more dangerously. Really stick it to the man. Go against the brain and break all the rules. That's right, be a rebel. Start at the end of a scene or story and work your way backward. Now I know to some people this might sound a wee bit scary, just a totally cockamamie idea. The very idea of controlling time and bending it backwards is just twisting your brain in knots. Yet, writing in reverse order is a smart strategy for figuring out the details, especially if you have a great idea for a story ending or you struggle with perfectionism. To write in reverse order, ask yourself, what is the final message I want readers to receive when they finish my content? Since you typically know the plot or theme of what you're writing, it's often easier to come up with an ending that captures everything you want to express. After you draft a few lines for the ending, consider what information will have to come right before the ending in order for your conclusion to work. Keep using this technique until it stirs up more ideas for the plot and structure of your content. I love this approach because it reduces the pressure of crafting a perfect beginning, and it often unlocks creativity by prompting you to consider how you will get to that final point. Writing in reverse also encourages a fresh perspective, and it can lead to some surprising plot twists or insights. Use this technique to identify gaps in your narrative and to make sure your content has a logical and well-structured flow. Number 31. Try a story idea generator. Who says you have to come up with your own ideas and create original work? I mean, other than copyright lawyers. Story generators are like your own personal genie who grants your wish for an interesting story idea. If you can't figure out where to start, generate a random word, title, character name, theme, or plot idea and build a story or scene around it. Using a story idea generator can be a huge help when you're trying to improve your writing or get past writer's block. These tools give you quick bursts of inspiration that can jumpstart your creativity and take your work in new directions. A generator can offer prompts, characters, or concepts you may not have thought of on your own, helping you break through mental roadblocks and get ideas flowing again. Number 32. Rewrite a favorite passage. Starting from scratch and writing something original isn't always the antidote to your creative block. Working with a well-written piece of material, whether it's your own work or another writer's, is a helpful way to awaken creativity without having to come up with an idea. Take a piece of content you love and rewrite it in a new style. This technique offers a twofold advantage. First, it allows you to immerse yourself in familiar, well-crafted words, providing a sense of comfort and inspiration. Second, as you rewrite, you're encouraged to critically analyze details like sentence structure, word choice, rhetoric, and overall composition. There are so many ways to rewrite a passage. You can change a mostly narrative passage to dialogue and vice versa. You can change the tense or perspective. You can add more imagery, use a different style of diction, or change the emotional tone of the passage. Go ahead and rekindle your writing flow. Number 33. Write without using the word I. Ever so often, your brain gets a little backed up. You might need to give your noggin a little squeeze to wring out some good ideas. By squeeze, I mean complete a writing challenge that twists your brain up in knots and pushes you to think differently. A great technique to challenge yourself is to write from a completely different perspective. For example, avoid using the word I, even in dialogue. It might seem like a simple task, but just consider how often we use the word I in everyday conversation. Using I streamlines the text, and taking it away creates a roadblock you must think your way around. This technique encourages your brain to work harder and smarter to craft sentences that don't rely on constant self-reference in narrative text or direct declarations when speaking. If you think this challenge is easy peasy, give it a try and discover how much your writing skills expand. Number 34. Write a scene from multiple character perspectives. Everyone has their own version of events. If more than one character experienced the same moment in the story, they should each be able to offer a different point of view of the event. For example, if a car crashes on the street, the incident might be witnessed by a woman walking her dog, a construction worker performing repairs, a child on the way to school, a local store owner, a street vendor, and so many other bystanders. Imagine how you can enrich a story by considering the details each person might recall from this moment. Writing a scene from different characters' point of view can be a powerful way to achieve a breakthrough. It lets you step into each character's head and see the moment from a fresh angle, which can spark new ideas. Looking at the scene from multiple perspectives also helps you understand each character's motivations, emotions, biases, and reactions more clearly, making your story feel richer and more engaging. In the end, you don't necessarily have to use all the character perspectives in the story. Writing from multiple points of view can be used to dig deeper into the plot and suss out more details. Then you can create a more well-rounded narrative and descriptive imagery. The end result is writing that feels more dynamic, relatable, and meaningful to your audience. Number 35. Join a creative community. Being part of a creative community can make a big difference when you're trying to beat writer's block or improve your writing. When you join a group of people who share your interests, you get access to new viewpoints and a supportive space to talk things through. Connecting with other writers gives you a chance to swap ideas, get feedback, and pick up a little encouragement, often enough to shake you out of a creative slump. Sharing your struggles and hearing how others handle theirs can also spark new inspiration and help you find fresh solutions. These communities are great places to talk about writing techniques, explore different genres, and get helpful critiques. That shared creative energy can boost your motivation and get your ideas flowing again. In the end, being part of a creative group doesn't just help you push past writer's block, it also helps you grow, collaborate, and create stronger, more engaging work. Number 36. Interrogate your characters. As a writer, you might make the common mistake of believing you have everything in your story under control, but you might just be wrong. Sometimes the only way to find out whether you overlooked an important detail is to probe your characters for answers. Now, this might sound like a strange concept, but writing can give you tunnel vision. It's easy to get so focused on the plot you're crafting that you get stuck trying to figure out how to make the individual events unfold. Asking your characters tough questions can be a great way to break out of your tunnel vision and go down an unexpected path. This technique is all about digging into what your characters want, what they're afraid of, and what drives them. Choose a mix of plot-driven, personality-driven, and situational questions to explore your character's deepest thoughts. Here's an example of each type of question. Plot-driven questions explore events and relationships in the story, such as, why did you keep a secret about your former life as a military brat? Personality-driven questions explore the character's personal traits and qualities, such as, why do you get anxious around turtles? Situational questions explore how a character would react to specific events or situations that did not actually occur in the story. These questions are meant to flesh out the character's personality and provide more reasoning for making certain decisions over others. For example, how would you respond if the main love interest sent a text instead of a perfume-scented love letter? When you explore the inner lives of characters, You uncover details that can push your story forward and help you understand them on a deeper level. Questioning them encourages you to imagine how they'd react in different situations, which can open up fresh plot possibilities. It also makes your narrative feel more dynamic because the characters' choices start to guide the story. Overall, this approach brings more authenticity to their emotions and actions. Number 37. Write in rhyme. Experiment with writing in rhyme or crafting a poem to stimulate creativity. Few things tease and delight the mind like the sprightliness of a simple rhyme, of cluster of words that, when combined, make a melodious rhythm so sublime. Rhyming is attractive to the ear because repeating sounds creates a sense of rhythm, harmony, and predictability. A rhyming pattern makes a group of words feel connected and satisfying, almost like musical beats. Our brains enjoy recognizing these echoes, making rhymes easier to remember and more pleasurable to hear. Trying to write in rhyme automatically pushes your brain to be more imaginative because you need to focus on rhyming, creating a pleasing sound, and choosing words that actually make sense, all at the same time. The rhythm of rhyming often pushes your thoughts in new directions, and you're free to play around with structure as well. Writing in rhyme is also a playful activity, which takes some of the pressure off and makes it easier for ideas to flow. Once you get going, rhyming often leads to catchy, memorable lines and poetic phrases that stay on your mind. Number 38. Explore opposites. The funny thing about writing is that we often decide what should happen and close ourselves off to better scenarios that are forming more organically. One way to uncover more interesting ideas is to take a key theme or concept from your story and write its opposite scenario. Exploring the complete opposite of a key theme or moment in your story allows you to play out different cycles of cause and effect. What would happen if a character went to a completely different environment or embraced a completely different love interest? How would your character behave differently if they had opposite personality traits? The technique of exploring opposites can open your eyes and reveal ideas you might not have noticed before. By imagining the opposite, you challenge your own assumptions and open the door to fresh plot twists and developments. This approach pushes you to think more deeply about your story's themes and how your characters make choices, and deal with the consequences. Writing the opposite scenario is also a useful problem-solving exercise that helps you work through a sequence of events that isn't quite falling into place. Along the way, you'll re-energize your creative process, spark motivation, and make your narrative feel less predictable. Number 39. Write an uncensored monologue. When you're really blocked, get a sledgehammer and start demolishing those walls. Figuratively, of course. Write a passionate or comedic monologue with no censorship to force out everything cluttering your mind, from random thoughts to crude ideas to beautifully worded phrases. The idea is simple. Let your thoughts spill out without editing or judging them. When you stop censoring yourself, you quiet your inner critic and tap into a more honest, raw stream of ideas. Unlike traditional free writing, a monologue should be focused on a specific topic or a group of related topics. Write it in first-person point of view, as though you are speaking directly to another person. If you're struggling with character development in a story, you can even write the monologue from a specific character's perspective. Have a lot of unpopular opinions about your local subway system? Write it down. Need a moment to share your unfiltered thoughts about social media privacy? Write it down. Want to completely transform the fantasy romance or mystery genre? Write that down. This version of free writing often leads to surprising insights and creative breakthroughs you wouldn't get from a completely random and uncontrolled approach. A monologue acts like a conversation with yourself, helping you sort out confusing ideas and see things more clearly. Even if the monologue isn't something you use word for word, it can spark material you can shape into stronger, more polished writing later. Number 40. Try mind mapping. Now, for an oldie but goodie, you can't really go wrong with mind mapping. For anyone who doesn't know, mind mapping is an activity where you create visual maps or diagrams to explore ideas and the connections between different concepts. It's a visual method that lets you lay out your ideas in a clear but flexible way. Instead of trying to think in a straight line, you can break big ideas into smaller pieces and see how everything connects. The great benefit of mind mapping is that it gives a clearer overview of what you already have, what's missing, and where you could go next. It also takes the pressure off trying to organize your thoughts perfectly from the start, letting you explore ideas in a more relaxed, non-linear way. For anyone stuck on a project, mind mapping can make brainstorming easier, boost creativity, and help you move your writing forward in a more satisfying, productive direction. Number 41. Sing the words out loud. Sing the words out loud to yourself to stay engaged in what you're doing. I'm the queen of coming up with silly ways to entertain myself. I like to come up with songs about nothing or read aloud to my own tune to make the simplest activity more relaxing and enjoyable. Singing your words out loud can be a surprisingly effective way to break through writer's block. When you vocalize what you've written, use a different part of your brain, which can help you see things from a new angle and loosen up stuck ideas. The rhythm of singing can also help smooth out complicated thoughts and improve the flow of your writing. Plus, it adds a sense of fun and playfulness, which makes it easier for ideas to come naturally. Saying or singing your words out loud can also reveal clunky lines or mistakes you might miss when reading silently. Number 42. Set small, medium, and large goals. Achieving any goal is harder when you don't have a plan. That's why accountability is one of the best remedies against writer's block. Creating a roadmap of your goals allows you to measure your progress and stay on track, instead of just working sporadically and hoping you eventually finish what you start. With that in mind, set specific and achievable writing goals that you can easily measure, such as 1,000 words a day or 5 hours a week. Breaking your work into manageable steps helps you build momentum and feel more in control. Small goals like writing a paragraph or jotting down ideas give you quick wins that boost your confidence. Medium goals, such as drafting a section or outlining your main points, keep you moving forward. And large goals, like finishing a full draft or polishing a final piece, give you something big to aim for. Using this layered approach makes the whole process feel less overwhelming, allowing you to think more clearly about what needs to get done. It also gives you plenty of milestones to celebrate along the way. Number 43. Refresh your mind with other creative projects. While it's important to finish what you start, the creative process isn't always linear or without gaps. If you've repeatedly tried and failed to make progress on a project, work on something different to give yourself a mental break. This can help you make space for a creative breakthrough. When you switch your focus to something like art, music, or crafts, you give your mind a break from your writing struggles. That pause helps you overcome burnout and give your brain a much-needed rest and reset. Exploring other creative outlets can also spark new ideas and perspectives that you can bring back into your writing. And when you're stuck, making progress on a different project can give you confidence and a sense of accomplishment. Give yourself the chance to play with new skills, try new forms of expression, and refill your creative well. It's the perfect mood booster. Then you can return to your writing project with more clarity and enthusiasm. Number 44. Experiment with handy writing tools. There's a reason why filmmakers love creating scenes where the hero gets suited up with all their gadgets. Having your favorite tools ready to go can make you feel empowered to take on any challenge and slay metaphorical villains. In this case, the villain is that frustrating creative block, and your gadgets are your writing toolkit. Sometimes changing the way you write, like switching to pen and paper or trying a new writing program, can give your creativity a fresh boost. A different setup can shake up your routine just enough to help ideas flow more easily. If you like staying organized, tools like Evernote, Trello, or OneNote can help you keep track of ideas, outlines, and research. For more visual thinkers, mind mapping apps like MindMeister or XMind make it easier to see how your ideas connect and to plan more complex projects. And if you're working on research-heavy writing, reference tools like Zotero or Mendeley can save you tons of time by storing your sources and helping you cite them correctly. There are also tools that make actual writing processes easier. Speech-to-text programs like Dragon Naturally Speaking let you talk through your ideas and turn them into text, which can be great if typing slows you down. Plagiarism checkers such as Turnitin or Copyscape help you make sure your work is original and clean. And if you're easily distracted, programs like Focuswriter or WriteMonkey create a quiet, clutter-free workspace so you can stay focused and keep moving forward. All of these tools offer different ways to support your writing process, and trying a new one might be exactly what you need to kick your creativity back into gear. Number 45. Get some physical activity. For a lot of us, the only thing that makes us procrastinate more than writing is the idea of exercising. But don't overlook the value of moving your body to stimulate your mind. Getting some physical activity can be a great way to recharge and break through writer's block. A walk, some yoga, or a quick workout boosts blood flow to your brain, which helps with focus and creativity. It also gives you a mental break from writing, so you return with a clearer perspective. Exercise releases endorphins that lift your mood and lower stress, making it easier to deal with the frustration that comes with feeling stuck. Stepping away from your desk and moving your body helps you relax, and that relaxed state often leads to new ideas. If you work physical activity into your regular writing routine, you might be able to skip the creative block altogether. Staying active improves your overall well-being, giving you more energy and better concentration. Number 46. Explore what-if scenarios. Play with alternative outcomes in your story to spark creativity. What-if scenarios are all about imagining different paths your story could take, different outcomes, choices, relationships, or twists. Exploring these possibilities can help you craft a plot point, conflict, or pairing you wouldn't have considered otherwise. What if character A told a lie that prevented character B from receiving vital information on time? What if an important event happened earlier or later in the story? How would it change subsequent events? What if a chapter or entire story was written from the perspective of a henchman or side character, not the protagonist or antagonist? What if an uplifting, inspiring moment in the story occurred differently than it was first described? How would that change perceptions of the characters involved? What if questions push your creativity by getting you to think about your story from new angles and explore the consequences of a particular choice? They can also reveal parts of your story that need more detail or a little extra work. By using what-if scenarios, you can extract as many ideas as possible from your work. Then you'll create writing that feels more inventive and full of potential. Number 47. Introduce a wild card character. Every once in a while, it's helpful to take a lesson from reality TV writers and liven up your story with a little shock value. Bring in a character with an eccentric personality or ability or habit and see where it takes your story. A wild card character can bring exciting and fresh energy to your writing, especially if the character goes against the conventions of the genre. So, what do I mean by wild card? A wild card character is someone unexpected, someone who doesn't fit the usual mold. Their presence can shake up your story in fun, surprising ways. They can bring action to a grinding halt or speed up the drama in an explosive situation that's about to blow up. Wildcards can inspire new plot twists and dilemmas, spark creative ideas, and push your narrative in directions you never imagined. Wildcard characters act as a catalyst, challenging the flow of your story and encouraging you to think more creatively. By bringing in someone unpredictable, you open the door to new possibilities and breathe life back into your writing. It's a simple technique that can help you get unstuck and make your content more dynamic. Just try not to overuse a wild card character. They can lose their narrative magic if their radical behavior stops feeling surprising or it completely overtakes the main plot. Number 48. Explore cultural myths. Incorporate elements from myths, legends, or folklore into your story to reignite your creativity. Myths are filled with timeless tales and unforgettable figures that can spark ideas and gently guide your writing. Orishas, Greco-Roman gods, tricksters, questers, clever sages. Looking at myths from different cultures can open your mind to new realms of thought and make you feel enchanted by your own writing. And there's no shortage of source material. While traveling in Ireland, I once had to kill time after a flight before I could check into my hotel. I spent that time at a local library in Tallaght and picked up an old book of folklore from a specific county. Although I'm extremely familiar with broader Irish folklore, this random book about one county was filled with interesting short stories, written like it was a member of the community speaking. The world is filled with cultures and subcultures that can provide unique insights, beliefs, and superstitions. And all of these cultures have a wealth of stories. So don't limit yourself. Cultural myths often carry universal themes and symbols that speak to people across all walks of life. Drawing from them can make your writing feel more resonant and meaningful. Studying myths helps you understand human nature and cultural differences on a deeper, more intuitive level, expanding your creative horizon. And when you reimagine or adapt myths, it adds layers of depth and a sense of ancient richness to your storytelling. Number 49. Meditate or let your mind wander. The best solution might be as simple as doing nothing at all. When your noggin is overheated, meditating or just letting your mind wander gives you a cool down period to regain your inner balance. Taking some time to relax and clear your head gives your brain space to reset, which can lead to a new perspective and clearer thinking. When you quiet all the mental noise, it's easier to listen for the good ideas lurking in the back of your brain. Meditation helps reduce stress and put you in a calmer, more open frame of mind. Letting your thoughts drift can also spark unexpected connections between ideas you wouldn't normally pair together, which can lead to creative breakthroughs. It's a simple way to break out of the rigid thinking that often causes writer's block in the first place. Number 50. Play Russian roulette. For those of us who get deeply attached to our own characters, writing the best developmental arc can become a challenge. At times, you know a character should make a major mistake, head into danger, or even meet their maker. But because you love the character too much, you make their journey less impactful than it should be. The solution? Play Russian roulette with 2 or more characters, only when it makes sense, of course. If you don't know what Russian roulette is, it's a deadly game in which 2 or more people place a single round in a revolver and take turns firing. Think of it as a duel that's based entirely on luck. It's a scary game of chance and the outcome can go either way. So how does this apply to character development? Assign a number to your characters and roll a dice, or place their names in a hat and draw one at random. Write out a plotline in which you finish off the selected character and then see what impact it has on the story. If the characters are well differentiated and play a meaningful role in the story, choosing one death over another should create a distinctive change in the story's development. If you don't like where the story goes, you can always go back and choose the other character instead, but the point of this exercise is to let chance take over and see where it leads you. The story you create might totally surprise you. Number 51. Write a conversation using only questions. What keeps the reader turning the page? And how can a writer hold their attention from the very first sentence? What sparks curiosity, builds tension, or makes someone wonder what happens next? How does a well-placed detail, an unanswered mystery, or a compelling character pull readers deeper into the story? What happens when intrigue fades? And how quickly can interest slip away if a writer doesn't keep raising questions in the reader's mind? In case you didn't notice, every line I just said was a question. Writing a conversation using only questions is an activity I particularly enjoy because once you start, you realize how powerful it is to introduce an unexplored idea and leave the audience to reflect on it. Questions can be confusing, thought-provoking, inflammatory, compassionate, and so much more. They can inspire rage, curiosity, wit, connection, doubt, fear, self-reflection, even growth and change. Try writing a paragraph, a few paragraphs, or an entire page, using only questions, a technique that forces your mind to stay active and inquisitive. Not only is it good for pushing through a creative block, but questioning everything is pure fun as well. Asking question after question makes you look at your topic from different angles and dig deeper into what you're trying to say. The back and forth rhythm of a question-only dialogue keeps things moving and helps you avoid getting stuck. It often leads to surprising insights or connections you might not discover with more traditional writing. This approach blends structure with flexibility, giving you a fresh way to explore your ideas. Because ultimately, isn't the real power of good writing the ability to make readers ask, what's coming next? Number 52. Write a dummy draft. Sometimes the best way to get over the fear of being a terrible writer is to just go ahead and write something terrible. Get the terrible draft or dummy draft out of your system. Don't make any effort to be grammatically correct, profound, intelligent, or creative. Just focus on writing the story or narrative you envision. Seriously, pretend you're writing it for someone who has zero standards, who wouldn't dream of criticizing your terrible work. Pretend it's the best thing you've ever written, even if the sentences are barely coherent. or a major character's name suddenly changes halfway through the story. The entire piece can be complete gibberish in a language you made up. It doesn't matter. The point of a dummy draft is to get the neurons firing in your brain so you can pull yourself out of a writing slump. Creative blocks are often the product of self-doubt and imposter syndrome, which is why it's beneficial to cultivate a mindset of progress over perfection. Write for the sake of writing, not for the sake of being good. At some point, you will feel inspired and ready to execute an idea that isn't terrible. Number 53. Seek therapy and healing. Writing can be incredibly therapeutic, helping you uncover and express buried thoughts and emotions that may be causing mental stress. However, if you're creating content on a topic that's deeply traumatic and personal, writing by itself might not provide the degree of healing you need to handle the subject effectively. Taking time to heal will significantly contribute to the quality and authenticity of your writing, ensuring you approach your work with a clear mind and a balanced heart. So consider prioritizing therapy and healing before embarking on a challenging writing project. Addressing emotional hurdles or unresolved issues can lay the foundation for a more productive and authentic creative process. Therapy provides a safe space to work through any psychological barriers that might hinder the writing journey. And by confronting and processing these challenges, you can cultivate the emotional resilience and mental clarity required to share your powerful story with others. Number 54. Travel or visit new settings. Maya Angelou once said, "Life is pure adventure, and the sooner we realize that, the quicker we will be able to treat life as art." As a writer, the spiritual, mental, and emotional journey of traveling can open up new pathways along your journey to creativity. When you step into unfamiliar territories, your senses awaken. You experience new sights, sounds, scents, and people, and engaging with these new things will naturally trigger the desire to observe and reflect. Your pen becomes a translator, turning these experiences into compelling stories. Traveling affects us and changes us on many levels. When you venture out into the world, you meet people from diverse backgrounds. Conversations and chance encounters with locals and fellow travelers can provide unexpected insights that stay on your mind long after the event. Once you learn about people who live their lives in ways you never imagined, it completely expands your view of human existence, relationships, values, and purpose. And as you engage more with different types of people, you're better able to enrich your characters and their stories with authenticity. The more foreign the environment, the greater the impact it will have on your mindset and growth. When you go to new places, even performing the simplest tasks like getting washed, going to the store, or taking public transportation may involve a learning curve. Away from your familiar surroundings and well-known routine, you won't be able to rely on muscle memory to carry you through day-to-day tasks. You will have to be alert, curious, open-minded, and willing to learn. Everything will feel new and unexplored, and this feeling of being unmoored will challenge you to come up with creative solutions whenever you encounter something completely unexpected. If international travel seems too challenging, don't worry. You don't even have to go far away to feel this sense of awakening. By exposing yourself to new environments or activities, you can stimulate your imagination, let your guard down, and develop a fresh perspective of your surroundings. Overall, this adds depth to your writing, making it resonate with readers on a profound level. Number 55. Combine or divide characters. Sometimes when you're telling a story, it becomes clear that a character either has too much to do or doesn't need to be in the story at all. Then you struggle to keep writing because everything you try to do with the character feels forced, pointless, or inconsistent with the character's past behavior. To beat writer's block, you can either divide one character into two separate characters or combine two characters into one. Here's how to know which option is best. Ask yourself, does the character have more than one important role in the story's plot? Does the character repeatedly perform actions that are necessary to drive the story forward? Does the character behave in ways that are consistent with the character description? If not, is there a reason for the inconsistency in the story's plot? Does the character's role in the story make it difficult to create a cohesive narrative? Would removing the character have a major impact on the story's plot? If you answered no to the last question, it's pretty clear that you have an unnecessary character. Time to fire your character. However, if that character was going to perform one moderately important action in the story, you you can probably have a different character perform the role instead. Now, dividing characters is trickier. If you said yes to 2 or more questions in this list, there's a chance one of your characters is being overused. When your character has too many conflicting traits, it might start looking like they have some kind of personality disorder. Another common problem is giving a character something to do just because you need the story to progress, yet the action you want the character to perform conflicts with other roles the character has to play or unravels the narrative. For example, would the character need to be in too many places at once? Would the character need superhuman insight or extremely narrow conditions that haven't been established in the story? In other words, would the story become less plausible because you're giving one character too much to do? If these issues are causing your creative block, consider making a list of traits, behaviors, or plot points that don't make sense for this character. Then use those traits as the basis for creating a separate character and reassign any relevant actions in the plot to this new character. In the process, you might create a fresh and interesting character that breathes new life into your story. So, thanks for watching. Those are 55 strategies to overcome writer's block. Remember that writer's block or any creative block is a common experience. Be patient with yourself and try various strategies until you find what works best for you. Also, give yourself permission to write poorly sometimes. Nobody's perfect. And if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the content, and come back for more tips for writing and creativity. Thanks for watching Write Fancy.